Hey folks, Special K here with another one of our videos, just kind of simple stuff around the house we might be able to help with. Today I'm going to show you the problem that we got is a slow draining bathroom sink. So step on in here, I'll show you the problem. What we've got, and you can see if you kind of look at the setup of the sink here, we got two teenage girls sharing this bathroom, and when this water's going, especially you get hot and cold going at the same time like that, you see the drain, it just can't keep up. And so you wind up, you know, brushing your teeth, washing your face, and it's just kind of a cesspool of fill. Well, that's not okay. So you can see when I turn the water off here, just take some time to drain. Now, when we're done, I'm going to show you this again. It's just going to be, boom, water down the sink, just like it ought to be. So we got to get a few things ready here, and we're going to be back. First, we need a clean workspace. So we're going to be clearing all this stuff out. So we'll be back in just a minute and get started with the job.
1 second with that.
All right, welcome back everybody. We got the sink now cleared out underneath. You can see now I've got good workspace available, so I'm able to get down there and do the things that I need to do and get to stuff. I want to give you just a quick run through on the tools that we're using. Now, for most of you, this is just going to be basic stuff you got around the house. I got just normal crescent wrench we're going to use. I'll show you that in a minute. For this, I actually have a dowel stick. This is a little bit more specialized. Sometimes I'll use a wooden spoon, but honestly, I just couldn't find my wooden spoon today, so I got a dowel stick instead. And then a roll of paper towels. Some people might use a dish rag. I'd use a dish rag if my wife wasn't home, but she's kind of watching right now, so we're going to use paper towels instead. And then I got this wash basin. We're going to use this to just kind of catch things under the sink, you know, keep things nice and clean. So we'll get started in just a minute, but before we do, I want to remind everybody, I don't actually have a YouTube channel, but if I did, I'd be asking you to like it right now. Like, hit follow, whatever you got to do. And I want to let you know today we're sponsored by Dairy Queen. So be thinking about the Dairy Queen Blizzard as we go through this repair job. We'll be right back. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove this stopper in the sink. And in order to do that, I'm going to crawl down underneath here. I'm going to use my crescent wrench to loosen up the fitting. Now, it's a pretty simple thing to do. I'll have you kind of get under here so you can see what I'm after. Some of it you can kind of almost do by hand. And in just a second, that thing... Okay, so we got that sink controller now loosened up. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. And now this is going to be our first step, so come on up here so we can get a good look at what we got going on here. Remember that slow draining sink. Oh. Here's the first step. And you're going to pull that out. You getting a good shot of that? This is kind of what we're up against here. See, now there's some hair. We got, and now don't be mistaken, go ahead and get a shot looking down the drain there. This is what we're running into. And you can see why things are draining real slow. We're gonna get that cleaned out, and give me just a second, we're gonna go ahead and get the rest of it taken apart. For the next step here, and this is actually kind of a no tools required, assuming that you've got plastic fittings like I do under here. And I'm gonna go ahead and loosen this up so we can get the P-trap taken apart. Go ahead and get a shot under here. You can see we're just loosening those things up. I'm going to go ahead and disassemble the whole thing. And I've got my wash basin under there to catch a little bit of water that's going to come dripping on out. All right. Now you can see it's so gummed up. It is pulling stuff clear down through the trap. Go ahead and get a good shot of that. You see that? You think... Now, that is not something that crawled in there and died. That is two teenage girls, combination of hair, probably some makeup, toothpaste, just anything you can probably imagine right down that sink. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and loosen up the line that goes back into the wall too. A lot of people, they stop at this point. Not Special K, not when we're talking Dairy Queen. We're going to go ahead and get this thing loosened up, pull that out, just to make sure that we don't have any issues on back into the wall. This actually doesn't look too bad. We're going to get that cleaned up too. In the meantime, go ahead and take a look here from the top. I got my dowel stick. I'm going to use that dowel stick here down the drain to go ahead and kind of push some of that stuff down. And that's when, like I said, if my wife wasn't here, we go ahead and just take one of the kitchen rags and send her on down that drain. But for today, I'm going to take this paper towel, kind of wad that thing up to help send it down the drain. Just like a little bit of a plunger action. Go ahead and get a shot here in the bucket. You'll get an idea of what we're getting out of there. You got that? Here it comes. Just like that. Isn't that nice? I'm just going to go ahead and give it a little pull to get that the rest of the way out. And let's see what we got there. Huh? Almost like a little nest. And you can see now why that sink might not have been draining quite the way that you would like it to. And again, because we're doing this video to kind of help out and of course our sponsorship, this is when I'd like to again remind you about Dairy Queen and the Dairy Queen Blizzards and how delicious they are. So we're gonna go ahead and get these parts cleaned up in just a moment and we'll be right back. Okay, so now I've brought this out to the kitchen sink. We're gonna go ahead and get things just sort of cleaned up. Again, some people wouldn't necessarily do this, but me, I don't like to cut corners. I want this nice and clean when it goes back together. So we're starting with real fresh material, not that's gonna be as prone to snagging up on all that hair and toothpaste and makeup and all the other things that might be getting sent down this drain. So I got my stopper nice and clean. I'm gonna go ahead and see that inside of that pipe. Can you get that real good? Just so you get an idea of see how dirty that gets. Yeah, we're gonna get that all nice and clean too. And so I'm gonna go ahead and just finish up here, including that P-trap. Take a look inside that P-trap. You see how dirty and built up that gets? Yeah, we don't like that. We like it nice and clean, just like the kitchen at Dairy Queen. We'll be right back. All right, so we're just finishing up on cleaning up some of these P-trap parts. I just want to show you real quick. This is why it's so important. You can see all that filth and scum that builds up inside that drain pipe. This is what we want to get on out of there. So we're just going to kind of collect our materials so that we remember, you know, this is what we're talking about. This is what was slowing that drain down, just to give you an idea. Every time you let your hair wash on down the drain, every time you spit in there on top of it, every time you're scrubbing that makeup off and just washing it down, this is where it collects. So we're gonna give a little bit of a demo here on reassembly in just a moment. Thank you very much. All right, Special K here again. We're just about to begin the reassembly. There's one other little final touch that I like to do when just doing this job and making sure that it's done right. I got a paper towel that I've gotten a little bit damp here. I'm gonna get that positioned here in my sink. I got my dowel stick, and I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of send that straight on down the tube. If we want to go ahead and give a shot under, you'll see why I do this is to help get the last of that muck. See that? Mm-hmm. Just kind of cleaned on out of there. I'm going to drop that in my bucket. Now we got a pretty clean chute. To go ahead, I run a little bit. So I got my bucket under there. Don't worry about that. It's not going to be running water everywhere. Now we're ready to begin our reassembly. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that little stopper back in the little hole part towards the back, so it's gonna catch nice. I'm gonna get our sink pieces for the drain reassembled underneath here, so I'm just gonna slide on under there, and we'll give you a shot of that once we got everything back and repositioned again. So give me just all right, let's get a quick shot under here. You're gonna see that I got most everything tightened back up, got our P-trap back in place, runs into the drain pipe. I got the stopper control arm back in, that's functioning properly. I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a quick little snug with the pliers. We got that good. It's nice and tight. And now we're gonna take a look at how this water goes down the drain. Our job is almost done here. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm gonna go ahead and get hot going. Gonna get cold going. And you see there is no pooling whatsoever. We're back to water down the drain the way it is intended. So that, folks, is our show for today. Remember, I don't have a YouTube channel, but if I did, I sure would like you to like it. And today's show is sponsored by Dairy Queen. home of the blizzard. See you next time, this is Special K.